Welcome to the Bayou City Soccer Podcast. Whether inside or outside the loop, we are talking everything soccer in Houston. Y'all ready? Let's get it.
Welcome back to another special edition of the Bayou City Soccer Podcast. We are pleased to be joined today by Houston Christian University's head coach, Ryan Pratt, and one of their players, Ryan Okerayi. How's it going, guys?
We're doing well in the middle of preseason, so it's nice to have a little change of pace and hop on and talk to you for a few minutes.
Yeah, we know 2024 was a big year for you guys. Second in the conference. You gave SIUE their only loss and then took them to the brink in the conference championship, right? Well, how was last season for you guys, and just how you can kind of springboarding that to 2025?
Well, I think, with the way the 2024 season went, I feel like, we have unfinished business. I feel like everyone, on our team has something to prove. And, we've set a standard. That 2024 season is now our standard. And, during this preseason, we can see that in full effect, and everyone looks good. Everyone looks sharp. And I feel like we're all ready to go.
Coach, how do you, from the coaching staff perspective, how do y'all build off of that season you guys had?
Yeah, I think, from our perspective, it's nice to, we kind of went into 2024 thinking we knew who we were. And then we finished 2024 knowing who we were. And so for the first time in probably my time at HCU, we really have a clear identity as to who we are, both in possession and out of possession. And I think anytime as a coaching staff and as a program, you know what you're about, it makes life within the program so much easier, so much more predictable. And so we know exactly what we're about, exactly what we're trying to do, exactly how we go about our business. And we feel like pretty confident in what we do. And we're looking forward to how 2025 unfolds.
Yeah, you guys, you mentioned you're in the preseason now. Busy schedule ahead for you guys. Some big games for you guys. Ohio Valley Conference, people probably don't know a lot about, but how competitive is that conference, and how big is it a test for you guys?
So I think it's a very good conference. We had teams like, obviously you mentioned SIUE already. Obviously anytime you have in-state rivals within your conference and you play them two times, it doesn't matter. When we play UIW, you can throw the records out the window. It doesn't matter if you're undefeated or if you haven't won a game. That game is going to be a tightly contested, tough match, no matter what the scenario or situation is surrounding it. And so you add that into the mix with teams like Liberty as well. And, the conference is difficult in and of itself, not only because of the teams and the programs, but also because we have to travel all over the place to get to these venues and to these universities as well.
Ryan, I know you've racked up some big honors in your career at HCU. Still not done yet. You've gotten those awards. Now you're one of the old upperclassmen, one of the veterans of this team. So how do you, just from your perspective, how do you kind of grow off of that as a player and with your team?
Individually, playing this sport, I've learned that you always have to be hungry. What I received, accolades I received, in my first 2 years, I feel like everything's, gone out the window, and this is a new season. So I know what I'm aiming for, individually, and I know what the team is aiming for, as a collective group. So I think just always being hungry is kind of, my motto for the season.
Definitely. Coach, we, Houston, obviously huge city, a lot of soccer talent here. You guys have a lot of local players. What is it about kind of the local scene in Houston for recruiting and you guys keeping guys here? Just kind of talk us through that relationships you guys have. There's so many youth clubs and things like that in Houston too.
We've really tried to make inroads. We've always had a good relationship with the Dynamo. But the last 6 or so years, even just pre-COVID, we've had a lot of guys on that have been in and through the Houston Dynamo Academy that have been on our teams. Now we've got this year, some inroads to the Austin FC Academy and players from there. And so we're really trying to make sure we do our best, which we always have been, but now because of our last season, we're able to attract more local players who may want to stay to play for us. Anytime you're successful, people want to be part of your success. And we didn't achieve what we wanted to achieve last year, so let's not get anything twisted. But anytime you can go and compete at a really high level, people take notice. And Houston is so big. This guy sitting next to me right here. It's funny because he and I were just talking yesterday or 2 days ago.
Yesterday.
He comes up and shows me a picture and says, "Coach, look at this guy." Well, it was a picture of him at our ID camp as a going to be junior in high school, and we didn't know who this gentleman was. Had no idea who Ryan Okerayi was until he came to our ID camp in the summer leading into his junior year of high school.
Yeah.
And this guy just crushed it. And my assistant and I look at each other and go, "We got to get this guy on our team somehow." And so Houston's so big. There's so many clubs that you've never heard of. And this is a prime example of that. And he was at our ID camp. We make things happen, all conference first team, freshman of the year. It's just the accolades are ridiculous for this guy who really no one knew anything about. And so it's one of those really neat stories to kind of gravitate and grab a hold of.
Yeah, Ryan, as a kid from Houston and grew up here, and you went through the ranks of all the youth stuff, how do you feel like Houston is growing as a soccer city, and what do you kind of the future of that?
Man, just being in Houston, growing up playing here, I would say there's a lot of, hidden talent. There's so much talent in Houston, even boys that I know, there's so much in Houston that you can kind of get a little bit of everything, playing style wise, so Houston I think it's very underrated, but, a lot of hidden gems and a lot of, local teams that no one has heard of, but, until they, get seen, no one knows about them. So Houston's it's a very good place, in the soccer world,
Yeah, a lot of growth. The World Cup coming here. It's going to be some pretty exciting times for Houston. Coach, you've been at HCU for quite a while now. You've seen it literally evolve from different names to all kinds of things. Where HCU is now, you guys are kind of coming up the ranks. How do you see the HCU program just from a state perspective and nationally too?
I'll just kind of tell you my kind of feelings of when I first got here in 2014 as an assistant. The program, I'll just say, it's in a completely different place than it was 10, 11 years ago. And that's no disrespect to any of the former players or anybody else. It's just the reality of it. I'm really proud to have this program in a position that we're in now, knowing what it was like over 10, almost 12 years ago when I first arrived here. From an academic perspective, from an athletic perspective, to the brand that we play, the style that we play, to the kids that we have in the program. These guys do an amazing job in the classroom. They do a fantastic job on the pitch, and they're unbelievable human beings as well. And so when you have those three kind of things going for each of the players on your team, you're going to be successful in everything that you do. And so we're certainly trying to continue along that path.
And Ryan, even student athletes, just in the last few years, we've seen big changes in student athletes with the NIL and transfer portals and all this kind of stuff. What's it been like for you as you started at HCU, back years ago to where you guys are now?
Yeah, all of this with, transfer portals and NIL, just learning about it is even, interesting as is, all these athletes being able to make, so much or no, build a brand. I think it's, very neat. It's a good way to, build yourself up, social media wise or in the soccer world. And then, my time here at HCU has been, it's honestly been a blessing, being able to have a coach like, Coach Pratt. I always tell him that he's more of a, like a father to me than he is coach. And I think that's just what we, strive to build here at HCU.
Yeah, you guys open up your first exhibition tomorrow. I believe you guys host North American, and then you go to SMU. So some good tests before you get your season started. What are some things that you guys are looking for here as you finish up preseason and get into the season? What are some kind of things that you're looking to fine tune and be ready for that season?
I think for us, like I mentioned earlier in the interview process, was just our identity, making sure that we get all the new guys accustomed to the way we do things, how we do things, the process behind and the reasoning behind why we do things, and all that you can get over in our meetings that we have every afternoon. But you still got to go play, and you still have to make decisions, and you still have to make the right decisions, and you got to understand what this looks like in this specific area of the field and that specific area of the field. And so we really have to just bring 11 or so guys that are new to us in the last week or so up to speed on how things should go. And we've had an influx of 10, 11 guys in the fall. We had 4 or 5 guys join us in the spring. Those guys were fully up to speed. They had a whole spring with us. And so now we're just getting these 10, 11 guys on the same page. And, that sounds easy, but it's not. And especially when we're trying to do is integral of a build and how we press and what our mid block looks like and how our low build is and our finishing of the plays. And this guy's a forward, so how he runs in behind, how he likes the ball, and all that kind of stuff. And so making sure we get all of the aspects of the team put into place and making sure that we get all 29 guys on the same page is not an easy feat.
Yeah, and Ryan, for you, as just individually and for the team, what are some things that you guys are looking to maybe clean up and just get yourselves ready?
I just think, like Coach said, we've kind of found our identity now. So it's just about bringing these new guys in and, teaching them how we do it over here at HCU. And I love this new group of boys that we have in. They're all willing to listen, all willing to learn, and, all of them can play, so super excited for the season to come.
Awesome. Before we let you guys go, we talked about the soccer city that is Houston. There's so many fans and soccer people in Houston, a lot who probably haven't seen HCU. Just what can you guys say to fans in Houston to come out and see the Huskies?
Well, I'll tell you from a coach's perspective, and then maybe he can tell you from a player's perspective. But here's what I think. One, our games are free. There's no admissions at any of our games, so there's no reason that you can't bring out your kids. There's no financial reason whatsoever. Come watch us play. You'll enjoy it. We play a fun style of football in possession. We love the ball at our feet. We build out of the back. We play how we think the game should be played. And then out of possession, man, we work hard. We high press when the opportunity is there, and we counter press. And everything that we do is really high paced and a lot of fun to watch, I think. And I think that our guys really enjoy playing the same way. And so when you kind of marry those two together, you get a fun product. And I think people are going to enjoy watching us play.
Yeah, Ryan, from your perspective, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, as a player, seeing the fans, in the stands supporting, cheering us on, you score a goal and everyone's cheering, that's what, at least, us forwards or the team, what we live for, and boys that are, my age or a bit younger, coming out, seeing us play, we can be role models, for the younger boys in Houston who feel like they don't have a chance. I, didn't feel like I had a chance until, I've met Coach Pratt. So just coming out, being in that environment, I think it'll help, the people in the stand and us, it's what we love seeing, fans in the stand. So really hope you guys come out and support.
Yeah, we'll definitely have to get out there, bring some fans out there, and check out Houston Christian. Head coach Ryan Pratt, striker Ryan Okerayi. We really appreciate you guys' time. Best of luck this season, and we'll talk to you again real soon.
Yeah, thank you so much for having us, Dustyn. Appreciate it, and have a great day.